It's not all official yet. It's not. They are going to try to mess with Pennsylvania. Now, why do we care about that? Well, this is a 4-hour chart of the dollar index. And as you can see over here, whether we know who the president of the United States is or we don't, the election came out crypto friendly and that the dollar went down. Okay. Now, for crypto traders out there, of course, you're following crypto, not the normie world. I understand. But on January 5th, there's going to be a contest in Atlanta that's going to determine who controls the U.S. Senate. Okay. So the parade of ineptitude is not over. And I can't believe it's dollar friendly. It just isn't. Now, here's a friendly face. This is our new proposed Treasury Secretary. Okay. Now, this is a cutout from Zero Hedge. I'll leave it up on the screen if you want to read it on YouTube, but let me give you the high points. She's from the Fed. That's where they print the money. They print the money at the Fed and they give it to the Treasury. So now the person at the Treasury is from the Fed.
Merry Christmas.
Okay? Merry Christmas. Okay. Now, down here in the second paragraph, she notes that one of the biggest risks for the economy is if they failed to produce additional fiscal support. Okay. So naturally, we don't want anybody to be hurting at Christmas or at the holidays. But the fact of the matter is, folks, if we don't know who the president is, the election's not fully done. And even if it is, we don't know who's running the Senate until January 5th. So that means no package until after the holidays. Now, when we have somebody from the Fed running the Treasury, the last line comes to mind. Okay. It says in January, she gave a speech highlighting reform efforts necessary to encourage more lending in low and moderate income markets. You know what? Let me ask you something. How can central banks print money and have that get into the hands of the poorest people in the world or in the United States? How does that happen? Well, yeah, you could get a loan for a donut shop or whatever, or we could have CryptoQE. All right. So there's crypto to the moon. There's crypto to the moon and beyond. And then this idea probably makes me a complete space case. People are going to think I'm crazy, which is great because those are the ideas that wind up working. And here's something that I put out on our Twitter. The big surprise is when central banks, okay, start adding crypto assets to their balance sheet as a part of QE. In other words, when the Fed prints money, they don't just drop it out of a helicopter, although that might be helpful in this case, but that's not how it works. They buy assets, they buy stocks, they buy junk bonds. And my comment is, well, if they can't get fiscal stimulus done and everybody at the Fed is running the Fed and everybody at the Fed is running the Treasury, then why not buy what's in everybody's PayPal account now, like Bitcoin? Okay. So if the people are coming, the corporations are coming, and the central banks will eventually figure it out, how high can it go? Older guys on Twitter like to draw parabolas. Younger guys like it too. So I figured out how to use the tool, the paint tool, just to draw it manually in Bitcoin. And it's basically a perfect parabola back from high school math, right? So why don't we just go to 20,000? Okay. But I don't even think that's the big move, right? In other words, you know, Token Metrics has been getting some press. People are calling, they want to write about Bitcoin. Okay. That's great. We're happy to help them. Okay. But for the live stream, we save the good stuff for our audience. Where's the big move going to be? Now, I know we talk about this every single show for a year, but we're not going to stop because now we got a fantastic looking green candlestick on the Ethereum weekly chart. As a matter of fact, it looks just like the one that started the mega down move in 2018 and the one that started the mega up move in 2017. Both moves were practically parabolic. In other words, they went straight in one direction. Okay. So let me ask you this. What exactly is stopping Ethereum from going to 1500? Well, probably miner selling, right? From the gas fees, right? They earned a lot of ETH. Okay. So that's probably why Ethereum's been a little slow. But what happens when the miners get done selling, right? I think they're done selling now. And you will know when they're done selling because ETH will just be at 800 one day. Now, taking a page from the Token Metrics Indices page. Okay. Check this out. So I call this the CryptoQE Portfolio. This is our value investor. In other words, I don't know, stuff that's considered undervalued, underappreciated. But take a look at what's in this portfolio for our value index, right? So starting on the left-hand corner, it's Bitcoin, it's Ethereum, right? And then moving right, you have Monero, Dash, and Zcash. Now, all of those cryptos have one thing in common. They're all used as money, particularly Dash in third world countries, okay? 0x, Coinbase, Cosmos, blockchain plumbing, along with Matic, okay? Now, I would guess that if I was at the Fed and I said, or I was anywhere, any central bank, or even maybe corporations, and said, hey, you know, guys, I want to have a couple different types of money on our books. Our artificial intelligence is picking this up for the quarter. Now, total crypto market cap. These are kind of, you know, these are the Ian Bellina spectacular charts, I think. Total crypto market cap. What's it been doing lately? Nothing. As you can see on the right axis, it's like about 140 billion right now, or 150 billion. And I don't see any reason why, given this Elliott wave structure, that the market couldn't add $50 billion to alt market cap, like in a hurry. Because when you have these, what's called a fifth wave, right? When you have that final leg up, it's just vertical. It's the moon, right? Now, if you go to Bitcoin dominance, okay? So Bitcoin dominance got to a level here where on the left-hand side, it kind of consolidated here during June. And that's where Bitcoin dominance fell out of bed when DeFi took off. So Bitcoin did nothing, DeFi exploded, Bitcoin dominance went down. Then over here on the right, you can see it looked like Bitcoin dominance was going to the moon. Naturally, when everyone thinks that, it's wrong. And then it turns around, okay? And then suddenly altcoins come back into favor. Now, I do think Bitcoin's going up, okay? But whatever Bitcoin can do, if Bitcoin goes up 25%, ETH could do a 2x. Now, if ETH can do a 2x, can you imagine what DeFi can do? Now, this is not something I drew after I had a couple beers. I've been thinking about this, and then I saw it in a chat room that's filled with really smart people. Okay. So let's just talk about basic Elliott wave. The parts that you want to catch are the third part and the fifth part. That's where the really big move comes. It's where you get the most gratification. It's called impulsive, like up every day. Okay. Now, if you look at DeFi, this is the DeFi futures contract, right? So from July to September, it went up, and DeFi was, DeFi was going to change the world. And then DeFi corrected, and then DeFi was going to zero, and crypto was illegal, and, that was it. It was over. We were going to have to trade NFTs for the rest of our life. Whatever. Not true. And then normally when everyone thinks that, DeFi bottoms. And then DeFi goes into a 3-wave, which is the biggest part of the trend. So that could mean Aave, Ren, right? Maybe even Wi-Fi and Compound, or DeFi protocols that we don't even know exist yet. And of course, Chainlink, right? We're talking about some of these tokens possibly 10xing off this move between like now and say January. In other words, if the government wants to act nonsensically, no problem, right? Like the next Treasury chairman, the next person in charge of Treasury is from the place where they print the money. And then if we don't know who the president is, okay, then it's chaos. Now, a little bit of shilling for Token Metrics. I have been watching what our AI has been telling us for day trades for last week throughout the election, right? So we're all worried about it on the sidelines. And I think it's really interesting that like Uniswap appeared. Uniswap appeared as a day trade every day for like 6 straight days. And then it went up 20% 3 days in a row. Bitcoin and Ethereum are both on those lists. So RAI is telling you that it is possible that you could have these melt up style moves in even the big currencies. In other words, everybody could go Uniswap. All right. So that's the market update.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Always great insights as always. Let's check in here with the audience and see if we have a few questions here. Be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to this video. What's up, everybody? Faisal says Uniswap is going big. Okay, here's a question. Trump is going to start suing on Monday. What would happen?
Okay, so this is a great question. So here's what I think their strategy is. So now we're going to move from crypto to politics, and hopefully I can bring it back to crypto. So if I was a strategist for Donald Trump, I would take a one step at a time approach, right? Trump is essentially saying that he went to bed on election night up big, and then all these ballots appeared in the middle of the night. Now, we're crypto. Who cares, right? We're laughing at these people counting paper ballots. Really? All right. So all Trump has to do is show that one of the key states was subject to massive fraud. In Philadelphia, I studied the history of American cities and American city politics in college. My professor had a joke that in big cities, not only do the dead vote, but they vote twice. Now, if Trump's caught these guys in Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, the Supreme Court has in the past thrown out election results and say, go back to the polls and do it over. That could mean everyone has to show up at the polls to vote again. And God help us all if they did that in Pennsylvania, and instead of losing by 32,000, Trump won by 150. That means all the other states are probably BS. So they're trying to get one state to get the whole thing in question. Now, is that going to work? I would imagine it probably won't work, because the court of public opinion will probably be against Trump. All right. Now, you have to be prepared, coming back to crypto, for the kind of sharp dips that we saw. So yes, I think the market can go parabolic, but I do think you're going to get dips. And you got to take advantage of those dips, because they're going to be short-lived. Because if we don't know who the president of the United States is, if we do know who the president of the United States is and they cannot get stimulus through, and if it's a blue wave and everybody in Georgia votes blue for senators, then crypto is going up under any of these circumstances because the dollar would just absolutely crash. The only scenario where I see crypto getting destroyed is where, like, if the Supreme Court literally throws out the entire election and they have to start over, right? I mean, that would be the black swan. In the meantime, I think it's like 3 to 4 events favoring crypto, one against.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would definitely be crazy. I mean, but it's 2020. So,
Right.
you know, the year's not over yet. Anything could happen.
Right. Trump's been really quiet. Have you noticed that? Like,
Yeah, too
you know,
quiet.
they're either cutting him a deal for a job to go away, right? Because he's out of a job technically, so he can look for a job. So either he's getting paid with a new job to go away, or they got something red hot.
Yeah. Now I've also been hearing that if he does lose, once everything's kind of made final, if he ends up losing, he could also run again 4 years later, because you have 2 terms to run as president, which, I mean, which would be pretty crazy as well. All right, but tell us what you think down in the comments below.